Embracing life at 60 and 5 things I've already started. Hello, ladies, and welcome to Rock Your Decade. My name's Loretta, and on this platform, I aim to be a source of encouragement and inspiration to ladies mainly who are in their late 50s, 60s, 70s, and beyond, God willing, on how to level up and navigate life as it is now. Because trust me, it's different. And so I've been thinking, and speaking with people of my age and some who are younger and some who are older. And it's different. Navigating life is different. Social media, the way in which we react and enact with each other, it's all changed, And as a 60-year-old, um, you know, I'm thinking about the future and what are my expectations and how am I going to navigate it in this new system, in this, it's not a new world, but this, it's a new system that we're navigating at the moment. And so a lot of us need encouragement, so that's why um I've decided that I'm asking questions, I'm answering questions, and I thought that this was a safe place to in which to do that. Okay, so let's jump right in there. Okay, so the first thing that I'm embracing, and I've already started, is keeping promises to myself. And this is a big one because a lot of us at this age have served. We've served our families, we've served our husbands, children, we've served at work. We're continuing to serve. Some of us are even serving our parents now as they've grown older. And so we're usually the bottom of the barrel, right? Mum usually comes last. And we're in my late 50s now. My children are much older. And I'm thinking, if I can promise somebody else to do something, why can't I keep that promise to myself? I grew up with a father who believed that if you say something, your word is your bond. And so I grew up as very young, learning that if I say something, I mean it. Otherwise, I don't say it. And when you grow up like that, you kind of think, okay, you can't break a promise to someone you know, unless you really have to. And I used to hate doing that if I promised. I learned to navigate it, which I'll talk about in a minute. But yes, that was very important. So now, if I say that I'm going to go for a walk for 30 minutes after I finished eating, why can't I keep that going? If I say I'm going to, you know, listen more to Audible because I do like listening. Being in a hospital where I could not, lift a book, I started with Audible. That was something I never knew I would do because I'm somebody who likes to hold a book in my hand. And I've started Audible simply because I was bedridden for a while, and it meant that I couldn't even lift a toothbrush to my mouth, not to talk of, a book. And here I am. I've begun to love Audible books, and yet I don't always commit to listening. It's not a promise that I'm keeping to myself. So I've decided that now. I was 60 about 2 weeks ago, to be fair. And I've decided that now that I am 60, and now that it's taken me this long, I am going to keep promises to myself, no matter what it is. Excuse me. I've started to do my nails. I never used to. Um, it makes me feel good, and I've decided that that's what I will do um, once a month. And so that's a promise I'll keep to myself because I would tell somebody else, if they felt that that's what they wanted to do, I would tell them to embrace it too. So if I make a promise to myself, I'm going to keep it. Number two, I'm going to weigh up the options that might take me out of promises to myself. So if you see me looking down, it's not that um, something's happening below. It's just because I've got my phone here and I've written the notes down here. So if you see me looking down, I'm just making sure I get, the information that's needed. Okay. So I'm going to weigh up the options that might take me out of promising something to myself. Okay. And, it could be that something else has popped up um, with family, something that I deem important. I have to look at it and weigh it and think, rather than before and then say, oh, I'll do it another day. What I've decided to do is weigh those options and say, can I do it at another time? Or is it something that I do have to do now? And I'll give you a quick example. So let me give you a good example. For my 60th, I was going to go to the Langham Hotel for high tea with a couple of friends. And then I remembered that I had to go camping with my church. And we only do it once a year. And, I love it. We go from Friday to Sunday. And it's just a wonderful time. We have fellowship, we play games, lots of food. It's a great time. But at the same time, I had already booked, given time, given the date that I was going to go to the Langham for high tea. And I gave myself the option to weigh things up. Whereas before I wouldn't have. I would have said, I've already promised this, I need to do that. And I called them, the girls, and I said, I'm afraid, that my church is doing a camping. They did tell me I forgot to write it in the diary and therefore it's clashing. Can we book another date? Because, the Langham is always going to be there. And camping with my church is once a year. And as a Black woman, I'm going to be honest, it's the only place I get to go camping. So we Black folk, we don't camp, especially Africans, Nigerians, we don't camp, and especially not in our 40s, 50s and 60s. And so I really wanted to go with the church, and I rearranged. I got another date. I let the other ladies know, and we'll be going to the Langham in 2 weeks. But that is major for me because I, move things around because I wanted to keep that promise to myself. Now, if I couldn't keep it, it would have been because maybe one of the ladies was maybe traveling and she couldn't make it. And though I would say, okay, it's a good reason to change. But if not, I do think that I make a promise to myself, I'm jolly well going to keep it. Okay, number 3, being kind to myself. I'm not 20, 30, or 40. And sometimes I don't always have the energy of the yesteryears. Okay? And sometimes I do. It works both ways. With menopause and, that's a subject for another day. But it is really important that I be kind to myself. Not only kind in terms of buying myself something or treating myself something, but kind to myself in terms of my mind. Sometimes I don't always know, or I can't always put things together. And that is due to, well, menopause, number 1, but also the main thing was for me that I was in a coma for a while. And so, the backdrop of that is that sometimes I forget a short-term memory. I'll talk about that another time. I think if you're interested in that, let me know. But yeah, so I need to be kind to myself when I can't remember certain things, kind to myself when information doesn't come as easily as it should, um, kind to myself when I can't do something that I could have done maybe a year, 5 years ago or something like that. And so, yeah, that's a very important thing that I intend to keep going. Number 4, boundary up. Okay, protecting my peace is a big one. Protecting my peace. We have a saying in Yoruba, um, where I come from, Nigeria, that says "moyonda," and "moyonda" just simply means that I choose not to allow or to take part in this thing. It's almost as if I bow out, but it's like I have the power. I have decided that on this occasion, I'm going to bow out for whatever reason I see fit. I don't have to give explanations as to why. I mean, sometimes, being a people pleaser, um, and I'm working on that. Um, Sometimes we always think we have to give an excuse for something. We don't. No is a full sentence. But even if we're not saying no, we say I can't make it. I don't have to necessarily give you a whole spiel of why I can't make it. I just can't. And so, you know, protecting my peace for whatever reason I think I should is very important to me at this age. I'm not allowing people to, to to continue to walk over me. If people have shown me who they are, I need to sit up and take notice that this is how somebody else sees me, whether good or for bad, and put my boundaries in place accordingly. And number 5 is regret is no longer a part of my future kit. Um, if I can learn from it and if I can change it for the better, then yes, we can work with regret. But if it's just something that's just gonna or other people are gonna use it, or remember when you did this, remember when you couldn't do that, or you were like that. No, that part has gone. Can I learn from it? Yes, I can. If I can learn from it, can I put things in place that will make sure I don't do that again, or you know do something else in its place? Fine. If I can change it, can I change it? Like, I regret that I couldn't attend your your you know your 21st birthday, for example. Can I take you out for a meal? um you know I'll be there when you're 30. um you know God willing. That's something that I can do, that I can change. But if I can't change it, then no, I'm not allowing regret to stifle the next decade that I have. And I always give a bonus. And so the bonus here is I'm not getting involved. I've said this before in one of my topics. Um, no, I'm not getting involved. If I don't need to get involved in something, no, I'm not doing it. I don't need to know all the information of what is going on about everybody and everything. Sometimes, the less I know, the better, the more at peace I am, you know. And so there are some things that I will choose not to get involved in. And I'm not going to go around saying I'm not going to involve it. I will decide that within myself. I may speak to counselors or other people who I value their wisdom, but I'm not just going to get involved willy nilly anymore. There's no need to. So yeah, so here are the 6 tips that I've incorporated into my life at the moment since I turned 60 2 weeks ago. And comment below on anything that you found interesting or anything that you're doing in your late 40s, your late 50s, and even your 60s and beyond. Um, Comment below, like, and subscribe. I'm trying to build a community here, and I want you to come along and be a part of the family. But until next time, don't forget to rock your decade.